I never thought I'd be the kind of person who would destroy a friendship, especially not this one. But here I am, blocked, hated, blamed for ruining a wedding, and wondering if telling the truth really makes me the villain. So, AITA for exposing my best friend's secret relationship to her fiancé? Because according to everyone around me, I should have stayed quiet. Background: I'm 26F, and my best friend, let's call her Lena, is 27F. We've been best friends since high school. Sleepovers, shared secrets, ugly crying at a.m., promising we'd be each other's maids of honor. She got engaged last year to Mark, 29M. Mark is honestly a good guy, stable job, kind, loyal, the kind of man who actually listens when you talk. When Lena told me he proposed, I cried happy tears. Or at least, I thought I was happy, because about 2 months later, everything changed. The secret: one night, Lena came over acting nervous. Not her usual dramatic nervous, but real nervous. Hands shaking, avoiding eye contact. Then she said, "I need to tell you something, but you can't judge me." That's never a good sentence. She admitted she was still seeing her ex. Let's call him Evan. They'd broken up years ago, but apparently never emotionally separated. And now, they were meeting in secret, texting daily, late-night calls, sometimes sleeping together while she was engaged. I remember just staring at her, waiting for the punchline. It never came. My reaction: I told her this wasn't okay. She brushed it off. She said it didn't mean anything, that Evan was just familiar, that Mark didn't need to know because it would only hurt him. She even said, "Once I'm married, I'll stop." That sentence made my stomach drop. I asked her how she'd feel if Mark was doing this to her. She got defensive. She told me I was being dramatic, that I didn't understand complicated love. Then she made me promise not to tell anyone, and I didn't. At least, not at first. The guilt. Weeks passed, then months. Wedding planning was in full swing. Dress fittings, venue visits, invitations. And every time Mark smiled at her, every time he talked about their future, I felt sick. I started having dreams where I was the one betraying him, because I was protecting a lie. And the worst part, Lena didn't stop. She kept seeing Evan, even complained to me about how stressful it was juggling both men. That's when something in me snapped. The final straw. One night, Mark messaged me. He wanted help planning a surprise for Lena. He told me how lucky he felt, how he trusted her completely. I cried after reading that message. The next day, I confronted Lena. I told her she had to tell him or I would. She laughed. She said I'd never do that I valued our friendship too much. And maybe she was right, but I also valued honesty. So, I told him. The exposure. I didn't do it publicly. I met Mark in person. I told him everything. I showed him messages Lena had sent me, dates, times, excuses. He didn't yell. He didn't cry. He just went quiet. Then he thanked me. The wedding was called off 2 weeks later. The backlash. Lena lost it. She called me every name you can imagine. She said I ruined her life, that I was jealous, that I betrayed her. Our mutual friends took sides. Most of them chose her. They said it wasn't my place, that I should have stayed loyal to my best friend. I was uninvited from everything, blocked everywhere. And now I'm sitting here, wondering, ending, did I do the right thing? Or did I cross a line I never should have crossed, because I lost my best friend, but I saved someone from a lie? So, AITA? So, the wedding was canceled. Mark walked away. Lena lost her mind. And I lost almost everyone. I thought the worst was over. I was wrong, because telling the truth didn't end the story. It started the consequences. The silence. After Lena blocked me, everything went quiet. No texts, no calls, no group chats. It felt like I'd been erased. Friends I'd known for years suddenly acted like I didn't exist. Some unfollowed me. Others posted vague quotes about snakes and betrayal. I wanted to defend myself so badly, but I stayed quiet, because no matter how much it hurt, I still believed I did the right thing. At least, that's what I kept telling myself. The story she told. About a month later, I found out Lena had been telling her version of the story. According to her, I was jealous. I was obsessed with Mark. I wanted to ruin her happiness. She conveniently left out Evan. She painted herself as the victim, and people believed her. One friend even messaged me saying, You could have just minded your business. That message hurt more than I expected, because wasn't it my business? When I knew someone was being lied to, Mark reaches out. Then something unexpected happened. Mark messaged me again. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity won. He thanked me again. He told me he'd confronted Lena with everything. And this is where it gets worse. She didn't deny it. She told him she loved both of them, that she planned to figure it out after the wedding. Hearing that made my stomach turn. Mark said something that stuck with me. If you hadn't told me, I would have married a stranger. The truth comes out. Here's the twist. Evan didn't disappear after the breakup. He ghosted Lena completely. No explanation, no closure. Turns out, he never planned on being with her. She was the side relationship. And once things exploded, he vanished. Lena spiraled. And suddenly, I wasn't the villain anymore. At least, not to everyone. Mutual friends switched sides. Some friends started reaching out quietly, apologizing, admitting they didn't know the full story. One even said, "I think we just didn't want to believe she could do that." And honestly, I understood that. Lena had always been the good one, the loyal one, the moral one. I was the easy scapegoat, but the truth has a way of leaking out. The confrontation. Then came the message I never expected. From Lena, months of silence, broken by one text. She wanted to talk. We met in a cafe. She looked exhausted, different. She didn't apologize. Instead, she said, "You could have let me figure it out." I told her, "You were figuring it out at someone else's expense." She cried. She said she missed me, but she still blamed me. And that's when I realized something painful. Realization. She didn't miss me. She missed having someone who protected her lies. Our friendship had only worked because I stayed silent. And once I stopped, it collapsed. I walked away from that cafe knowing we were never going to be friends again. Ending. So now I ask again, with everything that happened after, AITA for exposing my best friend's secret relationship? Or was losing her the price of doing the right thing? Because sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. Sometimes, it costs you everything. Opening. It's been almost a year now. The anger is quieter. The drama faded. But the consequences, they stayed. Because when you tell the truth, it doesn't just end relationships. It changes how people see you, including yourself. Life after the fall. After Lena and I stopped speaking, my life got smaller. Not lonely, but different. I lost group plans, lost inside jokes, lost history. I also lost the version of myself who ignored red flags for the sake of peace. I started rebuilding. New routines, new boundaries, fewer people but more honesty. And slowly, I stopped apologizing for what I did. What happened to Mark? I heard through mutual friends that Mark moved away. New job, new city. He needed a clean slate. Apparently, he took time off dating, focused on himself. The last thing I heard, he said calling off the wedding was the most painful, but best decision of his life. Knowing that helped, more than I expected. What happened to Lena? Lena's story was different. She rushed into another relationship not long after, posted constantly about healing and self-love. But behind the scenes, she wasn't okay. Friends said she talked about betrayal non-stop, but never her own. She rewrote the story so many times. I don't think she knew the truth anymore. And the hardest part, she never reached out again. Not to apologize, not to explain, just silence. The public verdict. Months later, someone shared our story anonymously online. It blew up, thousands of comments, and for the first time, I saw how strangers saw it. Most said NTA, some said esh, a few said I should have stayed out of it. Reading those comments was strange, because none of them had to live with the outcome. I did. The question that lingered. People kept asking the same thing. Would you do it again? I didn't know how to answer, because the truth cost me my best friend. But silence would have cost someone else their future. That's not a fair choice. But it was the one in front of me. The final message. Then, out of nowhere, I got a message. From Lena. One sentence. I hope you're happy. No apology. No accountability. Just blame packaged as closure. I didn't reply. Not because I was angry, but because I finally understood something. The realization. You can love someone deeply, and still refuse to protect their wrongdoing. Friendship doesn't mean silence. Loyalty doesn't mean lying. And sometimes doing the right thing means standing alone. I lost a best friend, but I kept my integrity. Final ending. So, am I the asshole? Maybe to her, maybe to some people, but I sleep at night, and if that makes me the villain in her story, I can live with that. Final verdict, AITA?